All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're tearing apart Week 7 Non-Experimental Research Design. It's a chapter from the book SP 521. And we're also pulling in some really key insights from the experts over at ASHA, that's the American Speech Language Hearing Association, to make sure we get the full story.
I mean, seriously, think about it. You can't just stick some things in a test tube or run a perfect controlled lab experiment on them. So how do we study all the messy, complicated stuff in the real world? How do we even begin to know what we think we know?
So, the very first thing you got to get your head around is the biggest split in the research world. It's this simple. Are you actively messing with something, or are you just watching what happens on its own? This is the great divide. And here is the absolute best way to think about it. With experimental research, you're the chef in the kitchen. You're changing ingredients, you're turning up the heat. You are trying to cause something to happen. But with non-experimental research, you're the food critic. You're just describing the plate that's put in front of you. You're observing what's already there.
Okay, so let's say you've decided you're going to be a watcher, not a messer. Well, now you've hit another major fork in the road. Are you going to approach this by counting things and using numbers, or are you going to do it by collecting detailed stories?
See, these aren't just different methods. They're totally different ways of seeing the world. Quantitative is all about the numbers. It's a top-down approach. You have a theory, and you collect a ton of data to see if you're right. Qualitative, on the other hand, is all about the words, the stories. It's a ground-up approach. You start with in-depth conversations with just a few people and build a new theory from there. It's really just stats versus stories.
All right, let's take a look at the actual tools researchers use when they're in that just watching mode. We're going to do a real quick fire tour of the most common ones.
First up, you've got survey research. You know this one. It's your classic poll, the questionnaire you fill out online. Super straightforward. You ask a whole bunch of people the same questions to get a big picture view.
Then there's the longitudinal study. You can think of this like binge-watching a character's entire life story over like 10 seasons, but for science. Researchers follow the exact same people for a really long time to see how they change and develop.
Okay, now listen up, because this one is absolutely massive. A correlation study. This just looks at the relationship between two things. You know, do they move together? But here's the killer point. The one thing you have to remember. Correlation does not tell you that one thing causes the other. It just doesn't.
And you might see a chart that looks scary like this, a correlation matrix. Don't sweat it. It's just a simple grid. All it does is show you how a bunch of different things relate to each other. Is A connected to B? Is B connected to C? It's basically just a relationship map. That's it. And now, folks, for the main event, because there is a huge, and I mean huge, misunderstanding out there that we have got to clear up. Getting this right is a total game changer.
And there you have it, straight from an expert, Julie Wambao at ASA. She nails it. People get these two mixed up all the time, but they are from completely different planets. They are not the same thing.
So here is the bottom line, the crucial difference. A case study is pure observation. It's a deep, rich description of one person. But a single subject design? That's a real deal experiment. You're still in the messing around world. You're still manipulating something to try and cause a change. You're just doing it with an N of 1. That's it. That's the whole damn thing right there. One tells a story, the other one provides proof of cause and effect. And let me tell you, a good story is not the same as hard evidence. Okay, so why in the world should you care about any of this academic stuff? Well, you should care because understanding this stuff is your shield. It's what keeps you from getting fooled by bad science and clickbait headlines. So now when you see some headline that screams, "New study shows coffee cures Mondays," you can stop and ask yourself the big question. Did they just watch people who drink coffee, or did they actually run an experiment and test it? Believe me, the answer to that question changes absolutely everything. Was it experimental or non-experimental? Were they messing with things, or were they just watching? Just asking that one question, that simple question, is going to give you a finely tuned bullshit detector that will serve you for the rest of your life.